Welcome to the presentation on Incoterms 2022. I am Emily Wilcapi and together with my team, we will be talking about it. They are Antoniela Andrade, Dariane Chesuria, and John Longa. Let's start. What are the Incoterms rules? The Incoterms rules, international commerce terms, are a total of 11 terms published by the International Chamber of Commerce, based in Paris, which define the conditions of supply of goods in international sales transactions. Antoniela, could you tell us when it was published?
Of course! The first edition was published in 1936, and subsequently there has been continuous revisions and updates, usually every 10 years. The current Incoterms are Incoterms 2020. This edition will probably be in effect for a decade, until 2030.
Do you know who was in charge of carrying out the 2020 Incoterms rules?
Revision and preparation of the Incoterms 2020 was carried out by Grove Spur Cali Drafting Trust, comprising of 10 people. Traditionally, these spurs come from European Union countries, many France and the United Kingdom. But in this occasion, spurs from other countries such as Australia, China, and the United States, and Turkey have been incorporated.
And how is qualification of the Incoterms 2020?
The Incoterms can be classified according to three criteria that all have to do with transport. Main of transport use, payment for the main international transport, and transfers of risk in transport. In the classification of the Incoterms 2020, the prevailing approach is the mode of transport usage. The first criterion is the mode of transport usage. In the version of the Incoterms 2020, there are 7 Incoterms that can be used with any mode of transport, surface, air, or sea, or multiple modes, multimodal. The second criterion of classification is the payment of main transport, which is the international transport between the country of origin and the country of destination. Finally, we should distinguish between those Incoterms in which the obligation to deliver the goods by the seller and therefore the transfer of risk in transport occurs in the country of origin, while in other Incoterms the obligation of delivery occurs in the country of destination.
These new rules underwent some changes, but general and specific. Dariani, could you explain it?
Are thus we have more to do with the front rather than the content which regulates the implementation of the Incoterm. Its purpose is to facilitate the understanding and exercise of Incoterm rules to all those who are detained for first time. More simple language with less legal content, more detailed exploration, and effort has been made to explain in more accounted further breakdown in cost allocation, the relationship between Incoterms and international commercial contracts.
Unlike the general changes, the specific changes do have a bearing on the content of Incoterms 2020 rules, and, in particular, with some exceptions to the obligations that sellers and buyers must comply with. FCA Option of Bill of Lading (BL) with onboard notation. In the Incoterms 2020 version, this option is specified for maritime transport, so that the buyer may instruct the carrier, shipping company, or its agent, which has been contracted in order to issue a bill of lading (BL) bill of lading on behalf of the seller with the annotation of aboard on board, which specifies the goods that has been loaded aboard the ship. DPU, renaming of DAT. In the Incoterms 2020, a new Incoterm, DPU, delivered at place unloaded, is created replacing DAT, delivered at terminal. This change of acronyms is a simple renaming given that the obligations and functions of both terms are exactly the same. My colleague will name the other changes related to Incoterms rules.
Among specific chains we have customs clearance range, export, transit, and import. In Incoterms 2020 is more precisely explaining which party, sellers or buyers, is responsible for carrying out customs formalities and clearance, assuming the custom and reach thereof. Island transport with sellers or buyers on meals in Incoterms 2020 for the first time this opinion is contemplating for some Incoterms the island transport in the country of origin FCA or the destination DAP, DPU, and DDP may be undertaken by the seller or the buyer using their own means of transport. And finally, transport security requirements.
The main advance of Incoterms is to use a standardized terminology to be used by all companies that carry out international business. In this way, there are specific terms or acronyms that help both supplier and buyer to have clear rules from the beginning of the negotiation. Therefore, confusion is avoided as each party involved in the process knows their responsibilities and will be able to manage their costs.